Hello, welcome to Better Business Podcast. My name is Alexi, and today I want to talk about the importance of market research. Well, before I jump into it, I just want to make sure you guys don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're on Facebook specifically, because we are on a mission to get as many subscribers as we can. We find that YouTube is by far our number one platform that our listeners are choosing to watch us on. We are obviously on all the other platforms, but for some reason, YouTube seems to be the choice of our listeners. Anyway, importance of marketing research. So, when it comes to running a business, I do get quite a few people inquire about, the change in the market. Suddenly things go quiet or something changes where businesses would normally say, something isn't right, something really has changed, and we don't know what that is. Well, the most obvious thing to me as a marketing expert would be to look into the actual market change and conduct some marketing research. Now, what does it actually mean? Well, you have to understand exactly what's impacting your customers' decisions. Is that really the way they behave? Is that the way they buy? Are there any external or seasonal factors that may be affecting the whole thing? And then most importantly, look at your competitors. Now, when you look into the competition, I think it's really important to not only have a look at their message or the website, which is what majority of people do. In fact, I do get quite a lot of inquiries from some businesses saying, hey, there's this competitor here and I want to be exactly like them. Their website looks awesome. Their messages are absolutely everywhere. Their ads pop up right, left, and center. And unfortunately, that is usually not enough to be able to do anything with that, because you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. You're only seeing the front of the advertising. You're not really seeing the back of the strategy. And when you're conducting marketing research, I think it's really important to understand exactly what your competitors do from that internal perspective. So what I would recommend you do is, get into some shadow shopping, go and make some inquiries and see how they handle those inquiries, see how they send you the proposals, see what their follow-up is like, and understand that there could be something behind the scenes that you're really not seeing. Because if there's another competitor who is really, doing quite well in terms of their customer service and they've got a bit of a unique process, you really need to understand how that could potentially help your business if you take a similar process on board, or potentially challenge your own processes and understand where the issue may be. Because doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same results, well, we all know that it's insanity, according to Albert Einstein. But market does change, and it's obviously very complicated at times. It's not just about the economy or the seasonality. I mean, right now we're in July, so a lot of people didn't quite get the tax return that they were hoping for, and as a result, they buying decisions are impacted by lack of finances. So these guys may be looking for things in a very different way, which is where businesses offering things like payment plans or potentially allowing people to buy now, pay later type stuff could actually be winning. So as you know, the good old Harvey Norman goes and pushes for their 24 months interest-free type thing, which does allow them to get quite a few people walking through the doors. And and afterwards, it's really at the mercy of the whole sales process as to how they pay. So really, it's the idea of understanding, what is happening with the market and identifying some gaps, especially when it comes to your competitor strategies. Now, I think competitor strategies is one of those things that a lot of people don't really do a good homework on. I mean, if you're just researching the numbers or the trends or the analytics or seasonal changes or looking at the past years, it doesn't give you enough granular data in order to understand as to what's happening right now. I have seen quite a few businesses, lost the momentum this month as opposed to last month. And there's a good reason for it. You have to also understand the urgency and importance of some purchases as well. Overall, I do find that the month of July is one of those shaky months, especially here in Brisbane. It gets a little bit cold. The consumer behavior is impacted by a lot of different factors, not just the end of the financial year and tax returns. It's much more complicated than that. But you have to really assume the combination of those factors and understand three things. What is it that your customers really want? What do they fear? And what do they really desire? I think if you have a look into those three things, you'll be able to make an informed decision and understand how you also could be comparing yourself to some of your competitors. So benchmarking, I think, is also very important. What are your competitors charging? What are their terms? How many reviews do they have? What's their turnaround time on processing inquiries? Do they go out to people on time. That's the sort of stuff that you really want to know. And I think, you can engage some outside parties to help you conduct that research. But without that research, it's very difficult to often understand what actually needs to change, within your process as well. I think, it also allows you to make some informed decisions in the future as well, once you understand what the market's doing. And, the whole research, we often forget that there are a lot of people that are starting businesses, and sometimes in certain market trends, it actually is a lot more common. So you see all these businesses suddenly come out of nowhere. I can certainly tell you that in the last 2 years, from about mid 2022, there's been a lot more trades businesses popping up. People would go and work for somebody, and then they start their own show, or people who were subcontracting decided to go with their own thing when things didn't quite work out with that one person. So yeah, lots has been changing. One thing I should say to specifically people who are looking at starting a business is that it's much easier to research the market and understand the need for a particular product or service as opposed to do one and then try to sell it. I think majority of people who come to us, they have got an existing business, and a lot of the time the issue is early stages is that someone goes and builds a product or a service that they think the market needs, but in reality it's not really the case. So it's a lot harder to work with startups who go and decide to come to us with an idea and say, hey, I've got this awesome idea or a service that I have, crafted specifically for these people, but I haven't been able to sell anything. Can you help me? I always look for proof of concept in the business. I always try to understand that these guys can not only do what they promise, but they can also sell that as well. Because a lot of the time, people are not bad at delivering a quality service, but they have no idea how to sell it at the starting phase. So if you are starting a business, if you are in that exploration mode, I would highly recommend that you test the market, have a look at what's out there, have a look at what the customers actually want, do some surveys, make some posts on social media and see if you get some feedback. Back in the days, we used to do what's called survey sites. We used to do websites where we would actually target traffic specific to keywords and actually say, hey, we're setting up a business. This is what we think. What would you like to see in our business? And we were quite surprised to receive quite a lot of feedback from people, because it's not really something that a lot of people would say. And the support was awesome. It really helped us understand what the market wanted and how to potentially craft a product or a service specifically around that as well. So a bit of a tip there for you as well. Now, I think market research also allows you to get enough information to set better goals or more realistic goals. Because a lot of the time, market research really starts with things like, who's your ideal client, where are they, and so on and so on. And in reality, I think you really misunderstand the whole thing with demand. Is there a demand specifically for your product? The competitors that are there right now, are they aligned with that demand, or is there a bit of a gap in there? Because if you find that niche that you can really dominate and wrap your product or service around, I think you'll do much better as opposed to just trying to market a service that you have developed based on your own thoughts that you're really trying to fit with the market. It's a pretty painful exercise if you ask me. So yeah, I think market research is paramount, guys. You really need to make sure that you understand the whole exercise of market research, and don't just outsource this to somebody who has no input into something like this. They're going to give you very cold numbers and stuff, and sometimes that is really misleading. Every single business is quite different, and I think understanding your own uniqueness and understand how you can help the market really makes your business stand out. So market research, absolutely important, guys. And one thing I also would like to note is that whenever you do market research, have a look at the paid ads that are popping up, especially in things like Google, and have a look at the similarity of message that actually comes up, because you'll find a lot of businesses pretty much say exactly the same thing. There's no point of difference. So your goal is to really identify the gap between the business and the message that they're offering and the actual customer and their wants, fears, and desires. That's really what you're trying to do. Are they wanting, a faster service? Are they wanting the same day turnaround time? Do they want some sort of an instant response? With a lot of tradies, for example, you won't get them on the phone fast enough. You won't get them to come out at all sometimes. So if you're able to solve that problem, that will really, put you further ahead of a lot of other businesses as well. And overall, having a deeper understanding of the customer, behavior and seasonal aspects or anything else that may be affecting it will really allow you to have the upper hand when it comes to the marketing exercises later down the track. Anyway, my name is Alexei. This is Better Business Podcast. Hopefully, you found this interesting and useful. If you like, this episode, make sure you hit the like button and comment below if you got any questions. Share this with your friends, and I hope to speak to you soon.